Welcome to this tutorial video for the Waylanders. We're going to take a quick look at how this great game works. First, let's see how to set up a game. Place the terrain tiles as you see in the image and place zones of powers on all tiles, except for deployment tiles and blocked ones. Each player receives their party board and the appropriate amount of action points according to the turn's order, as well as 5 character cards. Then, each player must choose one card and pass the rest to the players sitting left. Repeat this process until all players have selected 5 character cards. Each player picks one of their adventurers to be their emblem, which is placed at the rightmost side of the board next to the character bearing it. Place the objective deck face down near the board and turn 3 objective cards face up for all the players to see. The turn is divided in 3 phases: starting phase, activation phase, and final phase. During the starting phase, you will pass all spent action points to the next player. You may also claim main objectives if you fulfilled any. And the same goes for declaring a formation. In the activation phase, you will activate your characters and spend your available action points performing actions with them. The final phase is the time to claim secondary targets or, again, declare formation. Let's take a deeper look at the activation phase, where all the action of the game really is. During this phase, the players will move their adventurers on the board while interacting with the rivals. When activating a character, slide up the character's card into activated position and perform actions with that character. Once you are done with a character, you may do the same with the rest of your party. Activate them and take actions. It is very important to remember that once you activate another character, you will not be able to take more actions with those previously activated. This is one of the strategic elements that you will need to take into account when playing the Waylanders. These are the different actions you can do. Movement. We'll place this figure on the board. As you can see on the image, there are 3 types of terrain tiles: plain tiles, forest tiles, and mountain tiles. Not all characters will move as easily in every terrain. For example, in this case, the character will have to spend 1 action point to move to adjacent plains. If the character moved again to a forest, it would cost another action point and 2 action points to move to a mountain. Revive and heal. Characters can be knocked down during battle, so you may activate an adventurer and spend 1 action point to revive a fallen ally. Also, you may spend an additional action point to heal the character completely. When a character is knocked down, their card will be turned into knockdown position. So turn it back to wounded position or to healthy position if you also healed it. Since you can perform every action twice per activation, let's move this character here and spend 1 action point to revive this ally. There are no more action points left, so we will not be able to heal it. The thing is that you can only heal characters during the same activation of the reviving action. And if you don't, you won't be able to heal your ally. Special abilities. Another action that your characters may perform is activating a special ability. Usually, doing this won't need action points unless the ability says otherwise. For example, Elathor's ability will give him 1 victory point if he gets 4 hits in an attack roll. Other abilities may be activated during your opponent's turn, like Dergen's, that prevents other adventurers' range attacks. As an example, this character could not attack Dergen because of her special ability. Exploration. Your adventurers may explore the different zones of power on the board. Let's say that we activate Zonk and move her into this area to explore the zone of power. Then she spends 1 action point to do so and turns the token around to show the other side and see how many marks it has. In this case, 1, as you can see in the image. Zones of power can have from 0 to 3 marks. If there are 0 marks on the token, remove it from the board. There is no zone of power there. If there are 1, 2, or 3 marks, they will indicate the difficulty to conquer it. Conquest. Another action you can do in Stones of Power is trying to conquer them. It is very important to control them, since you will receive a torque every time you do so. Also, the main objective cards are always related with controlling areas. To do so, roll a die to get as many successes as indicated by the token, in this case 1. Depending on the terrain you want to conquer, you will have to roll red dice for mountains, green dice in the forest, and brown ones in plains. You will have to get your character's guild symbol to be successful. So in this case we're playing with Song, and she uses the mountain symbol, which is the most frequent one in mountain dice. In this case we roll 1 bonus symbol, enough to conquer the Zone of Power. Other party members may be in your same tile when doing this. In that case, add 1 auxiliary die. After rolling both dice, we only got a plain symbol, so you cannot take control of the area. If we had rolled at least 1 mountain or bonus symbol, we would have conquered the Zone of Power, marking it with a Conquest token of your color and adding 1 torque to your score. Combat. Your adventurers are expert fighters, so you can activate them and spend action points to fight your enemies. Like every other action, this can be done twice per activation. There are 3 types of attack. You can fight at short range with enemies in your same tile. You may attack at mid-range at 1 tile distance, or you can attack long range at enemies 2 tiles away from your character. I will move this character for now because you need to have a line of sight to attack from a distance. If Song attacked this area, it would not be a problem since nothing stops her. However, you will not be able to attack here because despite having the required attack range, there is a stone wall in this tile blocking her line of sight. When fighting, each adventurer specializes in 1 type of terrain where they will be more powerful. We can see in the image that Song's specialty are the mountains, as shown by the symbol next to her name in her adventurer card. When attacking mountain tiles, roll mountain dice, which are better for her since they have more mountain symbols. To solve a battle, roll as many terrain dice as indicated in the adventurer's card. As we see in the image, there are 2 different symbols: gray squares that indicate how many dice to roll, or this target symbol that will work as a bonus, adding 1 automatic hit to your attack without the need to roll dice. To attack at a range of 1 tile, Song has 1 automatic hit. The defending characters in the targeted tile will defend from the attack individually. As shown by the 2 blue squares in his card, Elethor rolls 2 auxiliary dice for defense. As an example, Song rolls a red die because she's attacking a mountain tile, getting 1 hit. Now the enemies defend individually, starting with Elethor, who rolls 2 dice and will need mountain or bonus symbols to defend from Song's attack. A battle can end in 3 ways. If the attacker rolls more hits than the defender receives a wound. If both get the same amount of hits on the roll, the defender successfully blocked the attack and nobody receives damage. If the defender rolls more hits than the attacker, it could perform a counter strike if it has enough attack range, doing 1 damage to the attacker. As you can see in the picture, Briggs can return a blow at middle range, so if she rolled 2 hits, for example, Sang would immediately receive 1 damage point, forcing you to rotate her card from healthy to wounded or to the knocked out position. If there are other party members in your same tile when you perform an attack, they will aid you in battle, given they have attack range to do so. In this case, our archer can attack in mid-range, but Hangins cannot. So roll 1 red mountain die for Song and 1 auxiliary die for your archer. As always, you will need to roll Song's guild symbols or bonuses to hit the enemy. Then the defenders will do the process previously described. Another thing to keep in mind when playing the Waylanders is that the tiles have a maximum capacity. Terrain tiles can be of 4 types, with no stone walls, as you can see in the picture, which can hold up to 3 adventurers. Tiles like this one with 1 stone wall, which can hold up to 2 adventurers. Tiles with 2 walls on each side, which may contain 1 character. Finally, there are block tiles, completely surrounded by stone walls, impenetrable for characters and with no zone of power. Fallen characters do not count for a tile's maximum capacity, as you can see in this example, but they cannot be revived since that would surpass the maximum tile capacity. This can be used strategically to prevent an enemy from recovering. Tile capacity is also affected if a player controls that zone of power. An adventurer cannot occupy the last slot of an area controlled by another player. For example, there are 2 adventurers in this tile controlling the area. Since it has no walls, it can hold up to 3 characters, which means that only a member of their own party could enter that tile, but not an enemy, because the Conquest zone of power would prevent it. But if only one character was present, an enemy could enter the tile. Another interesting element of the Waylanders are the emblems. They are special cards, as you can see in the picture, which represent your party's chosen banner carrier. The emblem grants special powers if your characters are in formation and for areas under your control. The X's on the card show the formations your party can adopt as well as their benefits. The bottom part of the card shows the advantage for controlled areas. To adopt a formation, your party must be placed as shown on your emblem card. Your emblem carrier must be placed on the yellow position of the formation. In this case, Block's emblem shows that you may adopt a semi-or formation. So if we activate Block and move it here, we can declare the formation at the end of the turn, and all party members in formation will receive this special power. A formation can have from 3 to 5 adventurers, and although they will only occupy 3 tiles, all characters in formation will benefit from the emblem's ability. The emblem's power for controlled areas will trigger anytime an ally or enemy enters one of your controlled areas. Check the skill on the emblem's card and activate it if applicable. A game of the Waylanders can end in 2 ways. Either because a player has earned enough torques or victory points to win the scenario, or because a player has managed to knock out the last enemy. You can earn victory points every time you knock out a rival adventurer, adding 1 torque to your score. Every time you conquer a zone of power, you also earn 1 torque. Fulfilling objectives also gives you victory points. For example, the stronghold here gives you 4 torques, or the berserker that gives you 2. Adding everything up, the first player to reach the agreed score wins the game. Or, as explained before, if there are no enemies left standing on the board, you would also win the game automatically.